I live in a dead zone on Capitol Hill in Seattle, Washington. And the anarchists and the groups and the mass crowds have a base for their operations now. And no matter how hard I try not to laugh and have a sense of humor about destruction, suffering and pain, hunger, drug addictions, and philosophy and ideology the mayor, the governor, the city council, the tribal elders, the artists and all of their creativity and magic have decided the earth, the planet, the land are theirs now. And they've got the problems solved, and they're doing the hard, difficult, and emotional work now. And from what I've been able to see and hear and not be in harm's way, the goals are being accomplished with ugliness, graffiti, feces in the street, and a lack of food source. The only real place to go and not have a man carrying a machine gun just a few blocks over, not to go and have to bow to the pride flag they've decimated now, has to do a Safeway where they serve fake meat in half of the butcher section. Processed, not cut, not hunted, not ethically raised. Put in a machine, ground up, and formed to make a calorie. Right next to the hospital. They've got all their plans in place, and the rest of the city just goes, oh, we'll just have Ballard and we'll just have South with those gangs, and then we'll have downtown where everyone meets and just and riots. And then they go up north when they want, and they can just walk around confused and be poor enough to be stuck on their island they've made now and not move to somewhere like Bellevue where there's actual jobs, except not those approved by the intelligence and brilliance of the participants in the struggle now. There's no benefit to socializing services for environmental cleanliness. The only way to solve hunger has to do with a kitchen. And the only way to use a kitchen has to do with getting items to put in that part of a home. And the only way to have a home is to make and not complain and not ruin this city has, in other words, allowed the part of Puget Sound where there's orca whales, a Space Needle, and Mount Rainier in the background, to eliminate all of the cancer research benefits, technological innovation, and instead taken Ted Kaczynski's book, The Unabomber, along with Karl Marx and some ideology from Europe, and chose the professors from the 60s and the 70s and stopped free speech in the process now. Not fixing the inconsistency, not making people more aware, not encouraging, not motivating, not inspiring, but telling, indoctrinating, and burning flags. Making livelihoods disappear. And using the lack of options as their energy. Making themselves starving and hungry and afraid and filled with terror to get them ready for war and violence. The easiest part about up here in the Pacific Northwest doesn't have anything to do with the birds and listening to their songs. Has to do with waiting for the skateboarder to start the misdirection for the day now. People with so much exuberance for what they know and absolutely no evidence to provide for the belief system they want in place now. Making the pride flag their warrior, an object, and a community to fulfill their dreams and their aspirations. None of it makes sense. None of their words, none of their language, none of their restrictions or limits add up to their A with a line and then all the red and the black and then the rest of their confusion. People who rise up and make the change they wish to see in the world from hard conditions of killings and murder. Young men and women who want to shoot and kill each other because they have no consciousness remaining. Work to make the world better. But those who tear down their home and then say to the world they're at fault are liars, pathetic, and stupid martyrs, claiming jihad and not knowing what the Quran did to anyone in the place over in the country they say they want to make a part of their diversity and ethnicity, planning, strategy, and tactics now. A smart city in one of the most beautiful parts of the country, led by the angry, vicious, and brutal mob who don't read about neurology and don't volunteer for an elderly woman with Elvis all over her wall in college. They make manifestos, video posts on Facebook, and they join online websites with memberships to the elite and the powerful communist, socialist plan for Earth. They don't say to the confused lady on the street who's done too many drugs most likely or suffering from some debilitating condition, how to get well. They say fight and stop the atrocity, not explaining what they're mad about now, other than some other summary and literature and film to heighten the senses now. Brain, body, and mind are talked about in Seattle, and especially Capitol Hill. They are explained as behavior, tenacity, and grit. And they're not working for the human. They're working to make their beauty now.